Hi everyone, this is Emmy, and today I'm going to show you how to knit with pencils, which would be great for kids to learn to knit because you don't really need anything special. You just need 2 pencils and some yarn. And if you don't have yarn, you can cut up an old t-shirt and make your own yarn. I came across this idea when I was at a craft show, and I was working on a custom hat, and I misplaced one of my knitting needles. I noticed that it was the same size as a pencil. So I finished my project with 1 pencil and 1 knitting needle. I'm going to cast on 4 stitches on my pencil. If you're not familiar with this thumb method of casting on, you can watch my video called Grandmother's Thumb Knit Cast On. And I'm going to start knitting with my pencils. And I'm going to knit every row. And it's just a matter of knitting every row until the rectangle is long enough to be able to pass over your hand when it's connected. I'm going to knit the next row. Now I'm just going to keep knitting every row until I can pass this over my hand. Here's the knit stitch in slow motion. You insert your needle into the stitch, pass it around the pencil, bring it through, slide the stitch off the needle. So again, you just pass the pencil through the stitch, bring the yarn in the center between the two, and slip it off. Okay, I've worked a rectangle until it's long enough to pass over my hand. So to cast off, knit a stitch, knit the next stitch. So you have 2 stitches on your needle. You're going to pull the first stitch over the last stitch that you knit, and then off the needle. I'll do that again. Knit the stitch, pull the previous stitch over and off the needle, knit a stitch, pull the previous stitch over and off the needle. For the last stitch, fasten off with a long yarn end. Pull the yarn end through the stitch. Thread the yarn end into a needle. Bring both ends together and sew to connect into a tube. Bring the yarn to the front. Weave the yarn end into the finished work. Trim off the extra. Weave this yarn end into the finished work as well. If you don't have any yarn but you'd like to try this, just get an old t-shirt and cut it into yarn. Cut your strips about a ½ inch wide. Pull it and it's going to curl like that. Okay, so I've gone ahead and cut myself some strips, and then I pulled them to curl the fabric, and I'm just going to go ahead and I'm going to knit until the rectangle is long enough to pass over my hand. Like that. At the end of each row, give it a really good stretch to set the stitches. And then I'm going to tie into a square knot again and trim off the extra. And there you go. And now you can see that you could use this to make a headband as well. You just make it long enough to place it on your head and then tie the 2 ends together. To make this one, I used 2 strands of worsted weight yarn. And then I passed an old shoelace through and tied a bow, and then took the 2 loops and tied those into a knot. And that makes a cute cuff bracelet as well.